By Miller Lite and Luther Auto. And now, to kick off your NFL weekend, this is Vikings Live.
Hey, what's going on? It is the first Vikings-Packers border battle of 2021. We know you're excited, as are we, at Vikings Live, hosted by Bonjour, Hobie Artigue.
Get much bigger than Border Battle Week, and it's on between the Vikings and the Packers. That matchup coming up on Sunday as they square off at US Bank Stadium. But we're here to preview it tonight on Vikings Live, along with Ron Johnson and Courtney Cronin. I'm Hobie Artigue, and Ron, starting off with you. This game big for the Vikings, of course, because they could start a winning streak here after that win in LA. But whenever you look at the NFC North as a whole, this game really does mean a ton for the Vikings if they want to fight back in that division race.
Yeah, and I think no matter who it is, you got to win right now. Like, you're not in a position to sit around and lose games. So at the end of the day, one, it's the Packers. You can kind of show, yes, they're number one in the division, but we are just as good. And then two, you can help keep yourself in the playoffs with some other teams losing.
Yeah, I think more than that, it's a race for the 7th seed. At the end of the year, we're probably going to write a book about how crazy it was. There are like 4 or 5 teams that are going to come all the way down to week 18 of the season, and the Vikings are now a half game back at number 8 behind the Carolina Panthers, a team that they've already beaten. So it's important to lock up this win against Green Bay, because then if you go on the road to beat San Francisco, you have the tiebreaker over them, and they're very much in the mix right now for the 7th seed too. So win when you can. win a lot right now because you've got to start building something here. 4-5, vastly different from 3-6. They're in a much better position now than they were a week ago.
And also that big win against LA, maybe it could translate into more down the road, some needed wins for the Vikings, trying to get back to 500. Now, this might be a stat that some people would push to the wayside. It's not the only measurement or metric, but these numbers somewhat telling, though. When the Vikings air it out, they usually win the games this season. The team is 0-4 when Kirk Cousins throws for less than 250 yards, 4-1 when he clears that benchmark. The only loss in that metric right there was that first game of the season against the Bengals. Ron, that game against the Chargers, they were able to air things out, something we had not seen in the previous two games. What changed?
I'm going to say Kirk Cousins being a little bit more aggressive with the throws. You look at the back shoulder throws to Jefferson. You look at his ability to take advantage of what he saw. You didn't see him panic, and I think that's the other key. Other than that, looking at those stats you brought up, unless you have Derrick Henry and you're willing to run the ball 30 times a game, you're going to have to be a pass to get guys out of that box and then run the ball with Dalvin Cook. I think they became too predictable, and that's changing, hopefully.
I mean, he saw two highs on 35% of his dropbacks. He's seen it, just about league average this year. He wasn't scared of it this time. I think that there is a very big push and a pull between a quarterback wanting to be aggressive and not turn the ball over. And that's something that's been Kirk Cousins' MO throughout his entire career. Now, Mike Zimmer told us that he told Clint Kubiak in the fourth quarter, be aggressive, go score. So they didn't really think of it as 4-minute mode offense once they got the ball back. They just looked at it as, don't give Justin Herbert the ball back here. On 4th and 2, go for it, ice the game, finish the ball with the offense's hands on the ball for one time this season.
Well, Justin Jefferson was the better Justin in that matchup against the Chargers. Certainly helps to have him, Courtney, whenever you look at the passing game success. Wasn't as simple as, hey, let's just get the ball in Justin Jefferson's hands and let's find success, because on the outside, it's kind of what it looks like.
Yes and no. I think that he did face enough single high coverage that made Kirk Cousins very comfortable throwing to him. But I think also based on the fact that, Jefferson wants those 50-50 contested balls. And he's somebody who's not really afraid to shy away from telling people how frustrated he was. He's a thoroughbred. The guy wants the opportunity to make a play. And all along we've talked about the trust that he's built with Kirk Cousins. These two have played 25 games together, Hobie. That trust better sure be there. And it clearly was, and Kirk was able to capitalize on it with those big third down throws.
Something that pair can build off of, Ron?
Yeah, but you got to still do, you got Adam Thielen. That's the other key, and Conklin's good as well. Kirk's just got to do what Kirk does, which is find the open guy, and then whenever you get a chance, because you're only going to get it about, which is a big number, but about 6 times a game where you're going to get Justin Jefferson one-on-one like that. Every single time, take that chance. You'll see that with Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. The minute he recognizes man, he's going that way, and that's what Kirk has to get into his head.
Also, they have a great running back that they also have to sort of rely on as well in this offense. Dalvin Cook didn't have the type of breakout game I think a lot of us were thinking he would have against the Chargers defense that was giving up a ton of yardage on the ground this season. Looking at Cook's history against the Packers, 2 of the last 3 games, he's rushed for 150-plus yards. Ron, do you think he gets back to that ground and pound attack?
I think they're going to have to run the ball, but the key about this game, too, is you want to be able to win the time of possession. The more you can keep the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands, the better off you'll be. And so running the ball on 2nd and 1 is key. I know, 2nd and 1, you have a plethora of plays you can do, but don't be afraid. We haven't seen much of this, or at all, I don't think, with the fake play action and then screen, because now you got everybody ripping and running, trying to figure out where to go, and then you still throw the screen underneath. Plays like that, you got to get it to his hands so he has space to run.
Yeah, the Chargers usually play a lot of too high for whatever reason they didn't. So I think that led more to the passing attack that you saw. But, remember, Cook in Week 8 last year was the catalyst for them at least trying to turn their season around with that 4-touchdown game. Also, the weather dictated that. So I don't know if it's an indoor game, so it's not like it's going to be much of a factor this time. But, he almost got 100 yards rushing, a very quiet 100 yards. It
was in L.A. However, in the games against the Vikings last year, one guy who really threw the ball well, that was Aaron Rodgers. In the 2 games that he played against the Vikings last year, my goodness, 655 passing yards, a completion percentage of almost 70%, 7 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and a passer rating of 119 plus. However, This being said, the Vikings secondary looks a lot different than last season, getting some veteran guys like Patrick Peterson. He's hopeful that he will play this weekend. Harrison Smith back in the fold as well. Courtney, how much better off do you think the Vikings secondary is this year?
A lot, because they were signing dudes off the street last year, like going into the week. I remember I didn't even know half the cornerbacks because everybody was getting injured, and then they were in 3-minute mode, and it's like, oh my God, just win the game. Josh Metellus gives up that touchdown in the fourth quarter, and Mike Zimmer is biting his nails on the sideline. You can't blame him. You know, when it comes to Aaron Rodgers and Mike Zimmer, I mean, we've talked about this. It's the chess match. Like, what does Zimmer want to throw at him? Because chances are Rodgers has seen everything the Vikings can do defensively. It's about being well-timed with what you want to do defensively. And I thought Andre Patterson had a really very big Belichickian thing to say, is saying we're not going to change what we do, throw our scheme out the window. We're going to do what our players do best in order to try to contain this guy, because you never can truly stop him.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at this with, you know, him coming back from IR, you brought up the whole DBs last year, you know, looking at the stat sheet, like who got that tackle. I think this is the biggest key. Mike Zimmer knows his defensive backs are good now. You have Mackenzie Alexander, you have Patrick Peterson, hopefully you have Harrison Smith back. Camryn Bynum needs to play.
Yeah.
I don't care how you figure it out, but there's teams that play with 3 safeties. We talked about that with J-Ron Curse. You have to put him in on nickel.
How about Honey Badger? Yeah. I mean, we've seen
exactly.
it before. Guys who
the Cardinals do it, and he can cover. He played corner in college. So when you have the ability to play corner and move to safety, that's what you need to do with this defensive backfield.
Well, the Vikings were able to shut down Justin Herbert for the most part last week, but now the challenge amps up even more against Aaron Rodgers. And for more as the Vikings get ready to take on the Pack for the first time this season, Dawn Mitchell has more after she caught up with some players today. Hey, Dawn.
Hey, Hobie, you know, you guys have been mentioning it all along, right? They're coming off that victory. They're getting players back from the COVID list. They're getting players back from the injured list, keeping the fingers crossed on that one. A lot to look forward to, but when it's the Packers week, it really doesn't take much, right? Everyone has an extra pep in their step, even all the fans do. But it's always interesting to hear the stories about the first time you were kind of sucked in to this week.
Probably go back to the 2015 last game of the year when we played them, and it was just a battle the whole game. It was a night game, and you know, Rodgers went back and he threw the ball up, and you're just saying, please don't catch it, please don't catch it. And then it went down, and everybody's so excited. You know, I remember seeing Dennis Ryan jumping up and down. I've never seen him do that. So that was my welcome to the Packers-Vikings rivalry moment.
We've all had that moment. And on Sunday, for the first time with fans in the stands, Justin Jefferson gets to have his, and he's ready.
You can feel the energy around here when we play the Packers. Just the natural rivalry, the hatred that we have from both teams. But, I mean, I went to LSU. You know, we played Alabama, we played Florida. We played those type of teams week in and week out. So these type of games I live for. I'm used to that.
Patrick Peterson hopes to be back and playing against the Packers Sunday, coming back from that hamstring injury. He says he feels great and now awaits the green light. He's been on the winning end and the losing end against Aaron Rodgers' strong arm, and that is the reason why he calls Rodgers the Rocket Man.
We used to call him that all the time in Arizona. I don't know who exactly started it, but yeah, that was always his name and to us in Arizona, Rocket Man.
Not only does he have a great arm, but the thing that makes him elite and puts him in the top 5 in NFL history is the way he can move around in the pocket, like you said, and and not only move around in the pocket, keep his eyes downfield and find a receiver.
Peterson says the key is to be physical and smart when covering Green Bay's receivers, because the Rocket Man will be firing.
What he's able to do with the football, how he's able to throw it, how far he's able to throw it. It's just like when he throws his deep balls, the receivers are never breaking stride, and that's pretty remarkable and special.
Remarkable and special, and now I have that song stuck in my head, right? I'm going to be hearing Elton John, Rocket Man, all weekend long. Hopefully it'll change to a different tune, though, by game's end. We'll leave that one up to you. Back to you guys.
All right, hopefully a Skol Vikings, let's win this game, is going to be being sung after this one. Thank you, Dawn. The game really could change the dynamic of the division for sure between the Vikings and the Packers, especially when you look at the standings. Packers way out front right now at 8-2, but there are the Vikings. Vikings at 4-5, a chance to make up some ground on Sunday. If not, though, Green Bay really could be on their way to running away with the division. But, Ron, whenever you talk about the Packers, it begins and it ends oftentimes with Aaron Rodgers. Has Devontae Adams back and healthy, and those two really connected against the Seahawks.
Yeah, and when you watch the film, I mean, this is actually fun to watch. Aaron Rodgers throws the ball all over the place, and what you're going to see here is a simple concept. You're going to have a seam up the top to take the one guy out. You're going to have an underneath. On his fifth step, he's going to hitch. He's watching that safety, and he gets rid of the ball. It's all about timing. One, he knows Devontae Adams is going to run where he's supposed to be. He's going to trust that his guy's going to clear out. If the safety cheats, he's going over the top. And it's the same exact play on the backside. You got the same concept. You got to seam clear out, but then at the bottom, there's always this option. Like I said, when he knows he has man with one of his guys and this MVS, he's going to take it. DB falls, and he throws an absolute perfect pass.
Well, Aaron Rodgers is going to be without one of his weapons, though. Aaron Jones is injured right now. However, A.J. Dillon, the second-year guy out of Boston College, Courtney, really knows how to tote the rock and runs hard.
Yeah, and he's massive. He has 40 pounds on Aaron Jones. He's 247 pounds. So bringing someone like that down is actually like bringing down a Mack truck. So that's going to be a very difficult task for the Vikings defense. But, you know, this is still predominantly going to be a zone team, even though they're aggressive, depending upon how aggressively the Vikings are going to set the edge there. I think this is somebody who has the power to jam it up the middle as well. So that's probably what they're going to be doing. But we're going to see on the screen play, Rodgers sells the screen and shows the pass rush down with his drop back as he keeps drifting back. Dillon catches it and pass in the flat. See, watch. He's going to make like 3 guys miss here, going down the sideline for 50 yards. Jordan Brooks still unable to tackle him until right about there and brings him down. So the screen game is something to watch for the Vikings.
Well, a lot will be on the Vikings defense's plate against the Packers, but a guy who's played really well, that is Camryn Bynum, the rookie safety, joining us tonight here in the Players Spotlight. He's gone one-on-one with Paul Allen when we return here on Vikings Live after he continues to make play after play in his
Welcome back to Vikings Live. Brought to you by Miller Lite and Luther Auto.
Well, this Vikings team is one with a few rookies on the rise, and that includes Camryn Bynum. He did not let the opportunity to start at safety pass him by any means, really stepping up when getting those chances with a pick against Lamar Jackson and also a crucial sack against Justin Herbert. And for more with the Vikings rookie safety, we toss it now to Paul Allen in this week's Player Spotlight. Hey, PA.
All right, Hobie, Player Spotlight, Camryn Bynum, or what's going on, Cam Beasy?
Nothing much. Having a good week of preparation.
Yeah, Cam Beasy's the Twitter handle.
Yep, that's my nickname. That's what everybody's been calling me. Hopefully I can earn the nickname back now that people are starting to learn my name.
Yeah, for sure. And they definitely will know your name when you intercept Lamar Jackson. I mean, first interception can be from some no-name quarterback, but you picked off Lamar Jackson for your first interception. How sweet's that?
That was super crazy, realizing I didn't even think about it until probably the night after. Like, wow, that's an NFL MVP, one of the best quarterbacks in the game right now. And it was just a blessing to be able to get the start against them and for me to be able to make a play on my first start.
Well, terrific work through those two starts. What's next? I mean, like, what do we do now? Harrison's back.
More. There's more opportunities, more snaps to be played. Obviously, Harry's back, so I still get to continue to learn behind him and X. But even though I've been making plays, my thing every single week, but can I do it again?
Yeah.
That's what I keep asking myself. Can I do it again? Because I've played 2 games of consistent playing time and I have a full career ahead of me, so there's a lot more work to be done.
Yeah, how about this? I mean, you go from 4 snaps to 98 against the Baltimore Ravens, and you learned you were starting 4 hours before the game. I mean, how crazy was that?
Yeah, I woke up, was in the bathroom, just normal morning routine.
Okay.
I get a call from Coach.
Hey.
I get a call from Coach, and he's like, hey, Cam, you're up. No questions asked. I was like, let's
Stopped
get it.
everything?
I'm ready. Now, continue with my morning routine, and went down, got some breakfast, and was ready to play ball. It's like no stress because I knew I've prepared for this moment, and I've been able to learn. I've been able to have a lot of practice reps that week, so there's no nerves. I was just ready to go have fun again.
But you're making it sound so easy where Harry gets all the reps during the week, and now you're jumping into kind of a creative, exotic Zimmer defense with the way he uses his safeties.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a credit to you, man, to jump up like that because, you know, not only did you have a pick in that game, but then you had a sack also. So, like, what's next? I mean, what possibly can be next? Forced fumble for a touchdown or fumble recovery?
A pick. I'm trying to fill up the stat sheet every week. I'm trying to have something in every single category of good stuff every single week in the stat book and just continue to learn. And like I said, continue to prepare because you never know when your opportunity is going to come. And mine came 2 games in a row, and you never know what's ahead. So I got to be ready for this week and every single week.
In the Pac-12, you faced Justin Herbert 3 times or a fair amount of times. Then you got to sack him. Did you say, hey, how you doing, old friend?
Now, it's funny because every time I played against them, he threw a touchdown on me my junior year, or I think sophomore year. Junior year, I came back and had my best game against Oregon that year.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, next time I play him, I got to do even better. So new position, was able to roam around more than just being at corner in college. So I was able to go sack him and make a play.
Well, let me get this straight. In 42 games in college, you had 1 sack. And in 2 NFL starts, you already have 1. I mean, you might be a sacking machine. Somebody better tell Zimmer.
That's the perks of being a safety. I can do me now, not just stuck on the edge.
Well, corner blitzes do count, too, in college.
Corner blitzes are way tougher. They see your eyes looking around, they're calling it right then and there. So I'm like, safety, I can play a lot more free, be able to use my brain, be able to be more of a student of the game than just being out there locked up the whole game. So that's what I'm liking. And it's a tough adjustment at first, but now I'm starting to love it.
Fellow rookie Kene Wangu, he's a problem on kick returns. Who's faster, you or Kene?
He might have me just about he's got me by a landslide.
Ooh, Kene's fast.
But he's not the fastest on the team. Let's not get that. Not to take it.
I'm going to guess the fastest on the team is Gunnar Dan Chisena.
By a landslide.
By a landslide, right?
He might be able to make the 100-meter relay team, Team USA, maybe.
Well, that'd be pretty good.
The way I've seen him run.
Best of luck, man. Great start to your career,
you.
okay?
Appreciate it.
It's Cam Bynum. I mean, Cam Beasy, Ho Beasy.
Cam Beasy making it look easy, PA, in his first 2 NFL.
This is Vikings Live. Brought to you by Miller Lite and Luther Auto.
Time to wrap things up here on Vikings Live. But before we go, we toss it over to Paul Allen one more time for his bird's eye view before the border battle begins between the Pack and the Vikings. PA.
My man, when I saw Justin Jefferson on the show earlier, it triggered the bird's eye view because over Green Bay way, they're really high on this rookie corner from Georgia named Eric Stokes. I guess we're going to find out how high he is on himself this weekend, because if he's that good, go ahead and single JJ. That's a surefire way to ruin your Thanksgiving, young man. Hobie, back to you.
All right, PA, thank you for the bird's eye view, my friend. Ron, Courtney, taking a look at this matchup one more time. What do the Vikings have to do to ensure victory, a second straight against the Packers trying to start up a win streak?
Win the turnover battle. I know it's cliche, but then also take advantage of the opportunity. So whenever you have an opportunity to get a big play, take it. Do not waste it, because you're not going to get a lot against this team.
I think defensively they need to play more man. Honestly, Aaron Rodgers has been worse in man coverage against the Vikings since 2016 than he has been when they've played zone. So, I don't know, go off history, do things like that. But also, as Andre Patterson said, you're never going to stop this guy. Slow him down as best you can. And don't be worrying about him in the pocket, buying time, eyes down the field. You have covers that can actually cover. You have corners that can actually cover this time, so I think that helps.
And they've done it in the past before. Why not be able to do it again?
Don't give him the ball with 47 sequons, though. That's the lesson that gave everybody a near heart attack last year.
Well,
unless DJ Wanham's ready to go sack him again, so I don't know.
Well, looking at the matchup tonight on Fox 9, it's Thursday Night Football. The Patriots visiting the Falcons. New England, guys, 4 straight wins. This team really turning it on since that overtime loss to the Cowboys. The Falcons, though, this game big for the Vikings, because right now the Falcons are also at 4-5. Could come into play if those two teams get into crunch time later on this season, whenever we're talking about the playoff race. But looking at the Patriots and the Falcons tonight, Ron, who do you like and why?
I'm going to go Patriots just because of the fact that Cordero Patterson probably doesn't play tonight, they said. And then when you look at 46.9, randomly they both have the same number. Defense, 46.9% on third down, and that's for the Falcons. And then the New England offense is 46.9 offensive third down conversions and touchdowns. 4th for their offense, 31st for the Falcons. So I'm going to go with New England.
Yeah, I mean, I think New England might be the most dangerous team in the AFC. I really mean that. Tennessee's got to face them again. I think, you know, when we talk about the overall number 1 seed, it kind of feels like that's the Titans to win. But that path to get there, they still have to play New England, and they're one of the more dangerous teams. Mac Jones, obviously the best rookie at this point of the season. I think the Patriots are going to run the table down the stretch, but remember that number 7 seed in the NFC is going to be a movie by the time this whole thing is over. And if the Vikings don't get a win here this weekend, they're going to feel Atlanta clomping at their heels much more than they already are.
Now, last week, I will say, you know what? I want to pick the Patriots too. But last week when we were in this exact same situation, it was Baltimore and Miami. And here we are. Oh, the Ravens got this. And then an offensive lineman almost scored a touchdown. Tua comes out of the gate, starts firing on all cylinders.
Sure, well, we all thought that only defenses get tired, right?
This
I mean,
is
the
true.
Ravens offense the previous week was on the field for 89 plays. So apparently we didn't count for that.
However, I'm going to go with the Patriots, too. Patriots all the way on Thursday Night Football. It's a game you can catch coming up next here on Fox 9. But for Ron Johnson, for Courtney Cronin, for Paul Allen, for Dawn Mitchell, I'm Hobie Artigue. This was Vikings Live. We'll see you Sunday morning for Vikings Game Day Live before the Vikings take on the Packers.